most thought-provoking hour of the day, dropping jewels and nuggets for the next 60 minutes. For us, by us. You're listening to the Hold Your Point podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Hold Your Point podcast. We are the Hold Your Point podcast crew. You know what I'm saying? Back for another tantalizing Tuesday. My name is Fortunato. We got Mr. Leviathan in the building. What's happening, bro?
What's going on? What's going on? Favorite son of Jacob here. Y'all already know.
Yes, sir. We got DJ in the building. What's happening, DJ?
Man, ain't nothing. Just another glorious Tuesday. Keeping the head above water. Another day to give God thanks.
Yo, Mike Brown, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, man. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on,
all right. Man, so how's everybody's week, man? What's going on, man? Anything special happened, popped off going on? Levi, I know you got a whole lot of situations going on. Levi, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I kind of made a little transition. I'm back in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? A little spot here that I little procured. So got a little spot here. So setting it up is a little work, but it's coming together.
You had anybody over there yet, Mr. Leviathan?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, just asking. All right, man. What's up, man? Anybody else got anything going on this week, man?
Oh, you mean like salesman? You ain't had no salesman at the door. That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jehovah's Witness or nothing.
Okay.
DJ, how was the week, DJ?
Man, you know what? Week was good. Got a good amount of work done. Like I said, just thankful to be alive another day. Never taking a moment or a second for granted. Even with being on a podcast with you guys, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. Everything's a blessing, man. So the week was good.
Yes, sir. Mike Brown, what's the highlights?
No highlights, man. Just enjoying the second month of the year. Just it's fast, man. I keep saying that every day, but try to take one day at a time and not take it for granted. Can't take it for granted.
Nope.
Because people pass away and you don't even know it, and you gotta sit back and be like, "Dang."
Every day.
I didn't even expect that. So, enjoy one day at a time and enjoy every moment of it.
Hey, facts, man. Hey, my daughter turned 9 this past Friday.
Hey.
So, my second daughter, so I got 2 daughters. Let me clarify it. Like, damn, how many daughters you got? I got 2 daughters and 1 son, and my youngest daughter is 9. But yeah, man. I mean, boy, she was on it, boy. Like, she, had her orders in place about what she wanted, how she wanted it. She made me call her uncle last minute, trying to have him come all the way from Tampa to eat Popeyes with her and for dinner.
Oh, that's what y'all had, Popeyes?
That's what she wanted. I was like,
my God.
I'm like, Monty, that's what you want for your birthday dinner? You can have anything you want. And
hey, Popeyes give me heartburn, man.
She said she wanted them dry biscuits.
That's all she wanted, man. So it's like, yeah. So
shout out to Popeyes, man.
Yeah, man.
People gas and heartburn.
Shout out to Popeyes.
Hey, buddy. But yeah, man, it was just just time to kind of kick back. We couldn't do the party for her. She wanted the party this year, but because COVID kind of kicked up again, we couldn't really do that. So but man, I just thank God, man, for another year, man. Like I said, man, another year, especially with little ones, man, where everybody good and they're getting older and we're just growing and maturing, and because it could always be something different, but so that's what's going on, man. But other than that, man, I don't know, like as far as highlights go, like the Pro Bowl to me, I don't know if y'all seen it. There was a little bit of a watch. I ain't even give too much time.
I don't even watch Pro Bowl.
Honestly, I took that time to do something more constructive.
Amen.
I wasn't watching.
I wasn't really into it, man. I mean, shout out to the NFC one. I think again, 5 years in a row, but it is what it is, man. The Super Bowl is up this week. I seen them tickets, boy. Some of them tickets like $60,000,
That's the
$40,000.
nosebleed.
Man,
Yeah,
that's,
for the nosebleed section, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's that. Might as well stay at home and watch it on the TV.
Hey,
I,
somebody
I
gonna
man,
pay
seen
for it.
I seen like a $7 million for like a 30-second ad, like
Yeah,
on like a Super Bowl right
and
now.
they
It's like,
already sold out with
yeah,
it.
they already sold out with it. It's like,
Hey,
yo,
you mess around, make that money right back though. I
that
don't
is
know
true.
about 7 mil. Depends on
Yeah,
what your business
I
is.
mean, yeah, you got to be
man,
known, or you
because
kind of
some
got
of
to be
these,
already known. But
nah, if you could put a commercial on the Super Bowl, that's chump change to these companies. So I mean, it's like, let's just say like what
I don't know
the
about
number
7.
one commercial probably Doritos a
and this
year.
year, I think this year they're going harder, man, because it's kind of focused to like our generation of like or our era of music, kind of sort of, because they got
halftime show, yeah.
Eminem
Yeah,
performing, Kendrick performing, who else performed? I think
then
Mary
Dr.
J,
Mary
Dre
J,
performing.
Mary
Dr.
J,
Dre, I
Dre,
think that's
Snoop.
it.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
West Coast.
Yeah,
Coast.
all West Coast pretty much.
But yo, you know, it's a bunch of old school dropping, man, when they have all them artists on there.
That's that early 2000 vibe. Well, except for
Yeah.
Kendrick, but
Mm.
Yeah.
so yeah, that's gonna be a vibe. But all right, man, we're gonna push on, man. You know what I'm saying? The topic at hand, you know what I'm saying? So the question that came up recently is, is it from a biblical, from a Christian perspective, because our conversations are focused on to a certain extent, is it right to live with a woman or a man prior to getting married to them? And I know there's a lot of different takes on that. Depending on the age group that you ask, you'll get different responses, right? But let's have a candid conversation, man, because I mean, like, there's a lot of different things that could happen, but let's consider it. Like, is it something that's permissible? Like, what I'm saying, something that we think that's okay to do, or like, kick it off for me, Mr. Leviathan. What you think?
Yeah, for sure. Um, I kick it off definitely because I think out of this group, I may be the least experienced in this area. But I only say because I've never lived with a woman. I'll be straight up. I've never lived with a woman before marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my wife, and I'm gonna live with her. But I will say, kind of like when I was younger, it's actually weird for me. When I was younger, I actually thought, man, I'd never do that. I'd never live with a woman before she's married. Like that sounds weird to me, whatever. And then as I've gotten a little older, that perspective has definitely changed a little bit in terms of saying I would never do it or I can't see myself doing that. Um, I'd give a few reasons like I get the whole temptation aspect. We'll probably get there, but um, I think for me, like in this day and age, there's just like so many things like that can be going on in somebody's life that you have no idea about, like until you like are in this person's face hours upon hours and days upon days, and like seeing it, right? So it's like you hear of these stories, and it's like the people have gotten together and they figure out something that is not good, and they probably would have known maybe if they lived together for a few months before that. So it's like, is that why the divorce rate is so high? I'll drop it there.
Okay, all right. I see where you're going with it. DJ, you nodding your head. What you think? What's your perspective on it? What's your opening take?
Uh, well, I mean, it in the Bible it does say it's better for a man to marry than to burn. Um, but I do like what Levi said about the divorce rates and that number is what, like 50%. 50% of
Way too
marriages
much. Go ahead.
ends up in divorce. It's probably more than that. Honestly, I don't know the statistics of it. But I mean, like I said, he hit the nail right on the head in regards to not knowing, not even just like a woman, like anybody even roommates. They could be dude roommates. You God bless the brother who ain't here, but they, we was roommates at one time. I'm like, okay, this is what you do. All right. What I'm saying? But that's my dog, what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing crazy. But when you live with somebody, you it's a whole different world, man, because you let your hair down, you do the things that you ordinarily wouldn't do in public when you're at the house chilling, you know. um it could be a number of things that you may not think is a big deal or you think is normal, but then somebody else look at it like, ooh, what's that? So you clean your ears out and you just leave them everywhere, huh? You know, that's what you do. I'm man, come on now. Y'all
Hey,
keep it 100. Y'all
you
know
call it
how
your
this
shot?
goes, man. But so I
Hey.
will say, if you don't live with a woman, you gotta at least visit for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again, pull up, you know what I'm saying, visit. Even then, you know, because you could play, you know what I'm saying? You could play somebody for 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hog the mic too much, man. I'm gonna let
Hey,
Mike
nah,
grab
but
it.
I like that though. But Mike, is it possible, Mike, to do any of what DJ is saying, like really, like and not, you know what I'm saying, go against the principles of the Bible? Like, is it really possible?
I mean, all right. Well, let's just. I feel like I don't know. You guys gotta correct me if I'm wrong. Seriously, correct me if I'm wrong. But all right, so like, all right, let's put it like this. In some countries, in some cultures, you don't know what you're getting into. It's arranged marriages. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this coworker. Shout out to my coworker Josnell. He told me that how his dad did it back in Haiti is if he liked a woman, he took his best goat, his best goat, and he went to
Goat?
his father, his goat.
It's
Yes.
no shit we do.
Yeah, he took his best goat out of his flock, took it to the woman his father that he wanted to marry, and said, "I exchanged my goat for your daughter." So you don't know nothing about that girl. He just see it from the eyes. You know what I'm saying? He like what he see. And now the woman has to be in a situation where she's okay. I have to marry this man because it's tradition, it's culture. You know what I'm saying? And he knows nothing about her. She know nothing about him. But she has to accept it because that's what it is. Even in other traditions, like, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, other arranged marriages. But the word actually is that I look for is cohabitation. You think what cohabitation is? Cohabitation is like living with somebody without premarital sex, and that's what the big issue is the whole premarital sex part. You know what I'm saying? You living with somebody and you seeing how they are, and see, like, if they leave the toilet seat up or vice versa, they leave dishes in the sink. There's certain things that can turn you off from that person. But I definitely think that is a red flag. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to get into something where you don't know what this other person does behind closed doors. Because everybody's a clown. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody's a clown. They got a mask on the outside when they step out their door and put on their shoes, and they're a different person.
Yeah.
So how you live at home is complete. Like DJ said, you in there, you take your hair off. Like, next thing you know, you take off a wig. You be like, whoa, I thought you had yeah, you've been bald this whole time. It's not even like something. It's not even like that, but it's a situation where how this person may be like view different things in their household. You know what I'm saying? Because your house is your sanctuary, and if this person can turn up your sanctuary and be a completely different person on the outside, then that's a problem. You stuck in a situation where it's like, dang, I don't have peace and serenity in my house because of what I got into, and I knew nothing about this person, but I'm following tradition by waiting till marriage, and then now I'm stuck in a situation where I can't get out because I had to wait.
I mean, I feel you though, bro. But like you said, so you mentioned like being cohabitation. Cohabitation, yeah. Okay, my bad. You got jumbled up for a second. But yeah, so you mentioned cohabitation, but I mean, Mr. Leviathan, I'm gonna kick it back to you. Like, is it possible? Like, because I'm gonna be real with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, before I met my wife, like, it wouldn't have been no cohabitation without, mingulation, or however you want to put it together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just being real, like, because temptation is real. That's why the Bible says, you know, to like not put yourself in the way of temptation. But Miss Leviathan, what's your thought on that?
I mean, you know, that's definitely, you know, the biggest sticking point when it comes to, you know, living with somebody before marriage, especially, you know, in a romantic space is what we're mostly talking about here. What I would say is I mean, you have to, before you even try to say you're gonna live with somebody, like you gotta know them to a certain extent also. Like, you know, you gotta be almost certain, almost sure, like you're going to, you know, you can see this person as your wife even before you get into this marriage, this type of living situation. I would say, like I said, I've never been in it, I don't know it firsthand, but I would imagine you don't just say, all right, come move in with me, and you don't know much about this person. And I say that to say, um, I say that to say, like, you
You'll
would
be
know that.
surprised though.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I can't speak for everybody. I guess I can't. I guess I'm speaking generally. I hope people ain't doing that mess. Hope too many people ain't doing that mess out here. Let's say, but um, I would say, you know, you kind of got to know, like, this person is somebody that, you know, you see yourself with. Not to say that gives you the license, you know, to say, all right, well, just because I could see myself with this person, I'm going to go ahead and do the things against God, and that in that sense. But, you know, it's a really tough line. You know, you asking me the tough questions, but I think,
Hey,
you know, I think with faith, anything is possible. Let's just say that. It sounds hard, it sounds impossible, but with faith and works, anything is possible. But
Hey, let me ask you this question, because Mike actually said something that jogged my memory. Um, and I just want to ask you guys, like, what do you guys think? This is kind of a separate question. What makes a marriage work? Like, because the reason why I asked, because I remember this. I think he was Indian guy, was like he not sure why, you know, people do all this dating or whatever, because he said he met his wife the day before they got married, and they be married for like 25, 30 years, some crazy like that.
Yeah.
So he was just like, he doesn't really understand what all this dating is about. They make, you know what I'm saying? You know, how are they able to work? You know what I'm saying? Dating and live with each other. What y'all think? Go ahead.
I can answer that perfectly. I'm gonna tell you now. All right, so it goes upon, here's the thing. Times change, man. Times change, and it's one of those situations where culture is kind of culture and tradition is kind of dwindling away, because women now are able, or not, I want to say able, is one of the situations where women have a voice, and back in the days women didn't have a voice. So in a situation like that, I think that she was probably going along with it, and she still has that tradition and culture in her mind, the Indian culture, where it's like, okay, this is what my ancestors did before me, you know, my mother did, her mother did. So it's like, whether I want to marry this man or not, I have to do it because of the fact that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that she's not a strong-minded person, but she accepted her husband and accepted that man because of, she had to, at a point where whether the fact that he's Indian and she's wife number 3, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they were married different wives at the end of the day. It's just times have changed, and I feel like, you know, a situation now, you have a lot of it's the dating world is very, very scary out there. I'm gonna tell you right now, people are, you know, different. There's different type of mindsets that there is than it has been in the past. So, and that's independent mindsets. You have girls out there ain't gonna put up with nothing. You know what I'm saying? You leave the toilet seat up one time, you gotta go. Yeah, that's what it is. Is this how they look at it? You know, it's just option. Back in the days, the man can leave the toilet seat all you want. She still have to go piss on it. Like that's how it is. I'm just saying.
Hey, I mean, I don't know. I've been out of the game for a little minute, so I don't know too much about the dating scene right now. I thank the Lord Jesus Christ, I've been sanctified and saved again. But what I was going to say before that was that, I mean, so why is it different now?
Your wife must be around you. Why you saying that?
Yeah.
No, she is an avid subscriber of the pod. but nah, I mean, so before I even get to the next point, because the thing with me, like, to go back to Mr. Leviathan's point, like, when it was my time, like, I was justifying it in my head, not for nothing. I was like, well, God, like, I'm gonna marry her anyway, so dude. But and in my head, like, I think I was justifying it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew for sure, like, this is like where it was at, because it's just like, I think it's really like knowing what you want for real, and like, coming to a point of like knowing like what you're going, like, tapping into yourself and knowing just like what you want. Because I mean, not for nothing, some of us get started early, like, so by the time you hit 23, 24, 25, you done seen a few things already, so it's like, as far as like, that goes, but so
I got
I mean,
a
it was
question.
just, yeah. So I mean, it was just to a point where it's just like, knowing like what it is that you want that really like brings you to that place of peace where it's like, okay, I'm good here. Like, I'm not like worrying about nothing. Like, I'm, what I'm saying? Like, I feel like euphoric here almost, so to speak. But go ahead, Levi, because I got another question.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, I just wanted to kind of get to like Mike's point a little bit, or in everyone's point. Like, how do you see the situation? Like, let's say you're living with somebody, and then there's something you don't like. Like, do you just hopping forth back and forth? I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, you kind of got to know what you want before you get into something like that. But it's like, to me, that kind of, it does open. I'm gonna play a little devil advocate here. It kind of does open the door, to you just being like, I don't like this about this person. I'm out, and just hopping. You just hopping now. You just going from one person to one person because you live with this person. Oh, nah, I see something I don't like. I'm gonna move out. It can teach someone not to be disciplined, not to deal with something that, hey, you're not gonna like everything this person likes. You're not going to approve of everything. Not to say you have to stand for nonsense, of course, but
yeah, no, and that's a good point, because that goes to the question I was going to ask.
okay,
Why
cool.
is it different now versus how it was back then? Because to Levi's or Mr. Leviathan's point, like, it's not like you're not living together so you can like know everything of each other, because you're not going to like everything of each other in the first place.
The
You
key
know what I'm
word
saying?
is
And back in the day, like, they didn't do that. Like, there wasn't no living together to, what I'm saying, let's feel each other out, let's see what's up, and those marriages lasted 30, 40 years. So like, why is it different now versus back then?
the key word is sacrifice.
Hmm.
I think back in the days, all right, no, not even back in the days, it's how much you're willing to sacrifice. Because at the end of the day, there's things that no matter what, nobody's gonna be perfect in a relationship. So it's how much are you willing to say, look, I say enough, I love this person, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. So how much am I willing to, like, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna let them get away with everything. You're gonna talk it out and be like, look, this is what I like and I don't like, whatever. And it's also for them to say, like, what I'm saying, am I gonna sacrifice by changing my way to make this work, or am I just gonna stay hard-headed and be who I am and let this person go because of the fact that certain things. So back in the days, it wasn't really by choice. Like they sacrificed a lot. You know what I'm saying? This day and age, our generation, they don't sacrifice, and that's the thing. It's just a lot of people are stuck and stubborn in their own ways. So, you look, you dating a girl and you walk up, all right, you dating a girl and she the prettiest thing on the street. Prettiest thing, like, turn heads, everything, and she invites you over to her house for something like dinner or whatever, and the house messy, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, am I gonna sacrifice her good looks for a bad home? Or are we gonna, what I'm saying?
It depends on how old we're talking about, how old we was.
I'm just saying.
Hello.
No, well, if you old and you desperate, that's at the age, that's just desperation right there.
If you about 22, 23, she can live with me. I can teach her to kind of clean.
And then your house look like hers. So I mean, wait, that's the thing. You gonna sacrifice.
To touch on Mike's and I guess Levi's and or all y'all points, I guess. I think it will become a habit and not a good habit if you continually just running from this person to this person because this person don't do this or this person don't do that. So I mean, you have to have some kind of standard ground type of mentality. But I think that you should have some non-negotiables. And I would say not a whole lot either, because when you have too much, then you're the person that running everywhere. But like for me, my non-negotiables, you have to believe in God, you know, not necessarily being in my religion, you know, and you know, you can't be no lame, you know, you just have just different non-negotiables, you know what I'm saying? And then everything else, you know, you got to kind of have maturity, because that's what, honestly, that's what marriage is about. You know what I'm saying? A bit of the game for a little bit. But that's what marriage is about, is just like kind of just being mature and just being like, look, you know what I'm saying? Can you stand the rain? You know, not trying to song drop, but that's really what it's about, man. Like sometimes it's going to be cloudy. Sometimes it's going to be snowing. Sometimes it's going to be bright. Sometimes it's going to be beautiful. And, you know, she we'll say he is not going to do everything you like, you know what I'm saying? But you just got to realize, like, you know, you got to find that thing to kind of just get your mind, you know, to just relax, chill, whatever that vice might be for you, you know. So
but are these concepts that we talking about though like supported in the Bible? That's the main thing.
That's a question I was gonna ask.
We talking about like, you know, like how we gonna do it, you know, how we can make it work. But you know, are these concepts supported biblically?
Well, I kind of brought up the one verse that I mean, it doesn't really specifically, I mean, somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, specifically says whether a man should be married, should live with a woman or not live with a woman. Only thing that I can reference to is better for a man to marry than to burn. But I mean, y'all let me know. I don't know of any other Bible verse that I can reference on the top of my head.
I mean, because like like when we think about it, right? Like there isn't like anything wrong with like, you know, a guy and a girl living together, like necessarily. Like, you know, if they just, like you said, if there's cohabitation and, you know, they just whatever. But, you know, it's just there's always like, you know, whenever there's a will, there's a way. And, you know, like it'll take two really strong-willed people to say, like, you know, we're going to stand on this and stay in the house together. And we're going to, you know, shower around the same time. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take a lot, man. So, like, but is it something like really like we see that's happening now? Like, I don't see that happening right now. Like, we talk about it like, oh, yeah, we could do it. But, you know, you're going to slide.
I see it. I see it more now for sure. I can say that.
You see what now?
More people living together before marriage? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Without like messing around and stuff?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No.
You know,
not that.
You know their business.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I don't see that happening, because I mean, honestly, it don't even got to be your girl. It could just be like, you know, somebody you met off of Craigslist that was looking for a roommate, whatever. And it really don't even matter how she look.
Wait a minute.
Man, hold your point, man. Hold your point, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, dog. Hey,
The devil is a liar.
I'm a
It be like that sometimes, though, man. Like for real, keep it a buck.
But yo, let me ask a question though. All right, in this generation, what is the proper stages of dating? So, all right, not dating, but all right, if say you like a girl, right? What is the proper stages? So you see the girl, you introduce yourself, then you go to what they call courtship. That's what it is, courtship. And after courtship is what? You officially my girlfriend or what?
it's so convoluted nowadays, man.
So
I like
and then but hold on. And then if something like you for my girlfriend, whatever, how many years you've been together or whatever, you get to know each other and stuff like that. You guys see you adapt. This is all before like y'all married, y'all even, living with each other or anything like that. Just saying proper stages. So after courtship and dating and stuff, it's supposed to be what engagement. You're
Right.
saying you can't live with your fiance is what you're trying to say, or
I
what
mean, that's
they're
what we
trying to
talking about
say?
what the Bible say. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm
because
saying. What the Bible say, like, it's wrong to live with your fiance.
I just don't see it being a possibility without you sliding. That's what I'm saying. It would take really two strong-willed people to like make that commitment, and y'all gonna have to probably be in church head first, like you know what I'm saying, to make it work. Like because like not for nothing, like I didn't, I didn't live with my wife before we got. Well, technically I did. I mean, even but yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah, but I mean the thing is like we didn't like like fully live together until like I got married. We got married, and then it's like the first couple of years. I ain't gonna lie to you, like it was a little rough because we learning stuff and I'm kind of
She's your number one subscriber. Remember
It
that.
was younger.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna keep it. I mean, it is what it is. Like we passing now, we going on year 11 by the grace of God this year. So we could talk about it now. But yeah,
Jump on a
like
cruise bombs for that, yo.
yeah, man. Like the first couple of years, it's just like man, like I couldn't like it was hard to adjust to like how other people did things because like I'm dominant myself, and it's like I want to lead on like doing a lot of stuff, and I had a tough time with delegating. And it's just like, like when it wasn't done to how I would do it, it just was a problem. And I had to realize like, we gotta give and take. And so leads me to the next question is like, what I think what I missed out on, what I feel like I needed was like, like that support group for like newlyweds from a church aspect. Like there was no like groups to say, okay, this is what you guys are probably gonna face. You know what I'm saying? This is what you guys are probably going to encounter. This is how you should handle it from a Christian perspective. We're not going to get in your business. We don't want to know, but you know what I'm saying? Like when these things happen, like this is like, our best, like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
And like, there wasn't anything like that established, like in my local church or any church that I can think of. And, I feel like if the Bible says that we can't, live together, whatever, or we can't stay together. We can stay together, but because of fornication, whatever, we shouldn't. Then there should be on the flip side those programs established on the church to show you how to get through those tough times when y'all learning each other for real. But why is that not like the thing right now? What y'all think?
Yeah, I agree. But also, you should have seek counseling before you even got married to see if if you should get married, because a lot of times brothers or seasoned brothers or seasoned sisters can spot it and be like, y'all not ready. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not ready for this. So I agree. There should be some kind of counseling prior and counseling during the marriage if you need it. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I guess it just really depends on what church you go to. I think the churches should have something like that set. And then, also if you can't seek it in the church, I know it's bad, but I'm sure there's counselors out there in the streets, out there in the world, in which you can, in which you can make, in which you can use, But yeah, no, for sure. I think it should be set up in the church. I have no idea why. It's not, but it's
yeah,
another podcast.
not to your point. Like I definitely agree. There should be something out there like that. I mean, that could be part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of young people go this route. I mean, like we're saying, living together with somebody is not in particular in and of itself wrong, but it is more of a risk. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a risk, and so I
Mm-hmm.
think more people are taking that risk nowadays because we don't have these programs. We don't have these things in the church, especially church people, to to talk about them, to deal with them, how to actually get to know a woman, how to actually get to know a man, how to actually treat a woman, how to actually treat a man. You know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of these things. I mean, it may be creeping up, like it's increasing maybe a little bit, but nothing formal, I want to say yet. I wish there was.
I mean,
Yeah.
to expand on that, I mean, just to everybody who's listening, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, look, what you gotta do is like you guys gotta go into the taboo of what people don't talk about. Like I said, people put up their best foot forward. Like, yo, I think honestly, when you get in a relationship, you should know the other person's credit score. I mean, stuff
Absolutely.
like that, like their whole finances, and that's a little bit detailed because at the end of the day, you don't know what type of debt this person may have. You don't know what type of
Invested in this person.
yeah, and you may be at a point in your life where wow, like I'm really bouncing back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to I'm just able to stand on my own financially. You take on another bag, that can mess up. That's one of the biggest taboos that nobody talks about. Not even that not historical. What is it? A hereditary type of
Diseases.
diseases and stuff like that from the whatever you don't. This is the little things that you got to really find out and ask before, like, look, we've been kicking it for a little bit. These are questions I want to know, and I need to know before I say anything.
And it's like, yeah, and it's dope. Like, I mean, it's magical when it can be organic like that, right? But it's like a lot of times you're gonna meet somebody in a spot in the club somewhere, or some type of event, and y'all just gonna vibe, click off of personalities, and you probably ain't gonna think about credit scores until you done banked from the
You vibe with them until the lights come on.
And it's like, damn. Let's talk about it with So I mean, but I do agree with you though. Like, ideally, like, run that portfolio for sure, because especially like before you move them in the house, because even going back to what we were saying before, like, not for nothing, like, there's a lot of people that's shacking up just for financial reasons too. Like, let's keep it a buck. I mean, they'll like each other a little bit, but you got a bag, I got a small bag. We can pay some things together. I'll put up with it. Let's do the do. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's a lot of different levels to it, man. But
and don't take no man in because you're lonely.
Man, it is a whole nother layer, boy.
Yeah.
Financial topic. I didn't even think
for all
about
the
that.
women listeners out there, don't take no man in because you're lonely.
So what we saying though, like, I mean, so what's the consensus from a biblical perspective? I mean, is it something that we're gonna give advice to a young brother or a young sister who, you know what I'm saying, they filling each other out to say, hey, y'all go get an apartment together, live together for 6 months, and see what happens. And if they get pregnant, then boop.
Man, hold on. I mean, it's still not on me, but
we just being candid and just keeping it real and keep it honest, keep it in the buck, and we're just saying we're not perfect. We decided to go the other way. We decided to go. I decided to go the other way with it. I'll let everybody else say what they say. I decided to go the other way with it. Just what I'm saying. I just felt like I needed that. Would I recommend that to another Christian brother or sister? Probably not. I would say, take trips together, what I'm saying, and try to be responsible and not do, you feel me? But I wouldn't recommend doing that just because, like, temptation is real, and there's only so much that we can take and we can bear. Like, when you're living with somebody, that's just that's a tough pill to swallow every night. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I would say, if you really serious
point,
about,
man.
if you're really serious about your salvation and trying to walk, you know what I'm saying, walk that road with God the right way, I would say, shy away from trying to do that.
So, but okay, so Mr. Leviathan, like, okay, that's what we're gonna lead with. But I mean, you still, looking and stuff, like, you trying to, saying, lock something down or whatever. Like, how you getting to know a woman like without like spending like some days and nights with her back to back? Like, what's the tactics today? Because like I said, I've been out of the game for a little bit, so talk to me.
This should be interesting.
That's exactly what I was kind of gonna like, touch on what Daryl was just talking about a little bit. How he was saying, the route that he went. I'm thinking in my head, what route am I gonna take? And I'm like, there's things that I need, like you said, I need to see from a woman before I put a ring on it. Like people,
Like what things? What things?
well,
If
oh
there's
Lord,
gonna be hair in the damn sink and on the toilet, I can't
mean.
stand that, boy.
Well, I mean, yeah, stuff like that, or am I gonna come home and every day I come home, are you the type to have friends over all the time? Not even talking about male friends, even like
No,
even female friends. Like there's some people like they want to have their friends over all the time or something like that. Like, are you that type of girl? Or are you the type of girl who want nobody over ever? Like, so those things, like, how am I gonna know these things if I don't? You know what I'm saying? I guess they saying talk, communication, that's great and all, but talk is talk, man. Talk is really just talk.
Yeah.
So
to get to your point, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, to get to your question, like, how do you, like, in this day and age, like, how would a man like me really try to get to know a woman? I mean, Daryl said it a little bit, take some trips, communication, talk to some people who are older than you, who've been there, who not maybe too older, people who maybe in your generation gap, who know a lot of the technology things you can fall into, a lot of the financial things you can fall into, you know, um, just try to gather as much information as you can. Like you gotta do research on this person. They're a research topic. Like you gotta go to school on this person. Like that's really like how it is. You take years to study a business or study a craft. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody you intend to live with for the rest of your life. You gotta study this person to the T. And the best ways to do that is being around them with time and all that. And so I guess that's why a lot of people are taking that risk nowadays. But it's a lot of communication, man. That's really my biggest thing: communication, and studying and paying attention. Pay attention, don't be dumb.
So that's how I'm saying. So like, how y'all doing it though? Is it just like more like we on FaceTime till 2-3 o'clock? Because I remember like back in the day, like you'll be on the phone all night, and you know what I'm saying, and y'all be texting all day and stuff. Y'all pull up and
I
see
don't have
each
time
other
to
and
text like that anymore, Bill. I don't have time to text like that anymore. So it's it's really like maybe talking on the phone, but I don't even see it that way. Like long distance stuff, what I'm saying? Shout out to the people who make it work. But what I'm saying? That stuff, I don't even know if that stuff can be feasible like that, and especially in this day and age. Like to me, you gotta be 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the max, maybe. You know what I'm saying? In order for something
hey,
to
it'll
really
work if you
material,
work it.
you can, but it's tough, man. I've been there on that front.
Yeah.
I've been
But
there
not-
on that front.
So let's kick it up a notch though. Okay, so let's say like right. So we've survived our early 20s, and we've matured a little bit, and where we are right now in our late 20s, early 30s, what have you. And some of us we bought a house, and the girls and the women that we looking like a lot of the times now are homeowners also. Like, you know what I'm saying? How's the game changed then, where now both of y'all own houses, so it's not going to be a whole lot of just quick checking up. It might be like a night here, a night there, but it changes the game to where it's like, how has it changed now? Like when we're looking at it from a different perspective, where we both established and we both own houses now, and it's like,
What's your question? I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
She own a house. What that
I
means?
feel
She
like,
mad now?
I mean, if in a situation
No.
like that, it's a situation like that, it's like, all right, if you're not 100%, you're always gonna be on the same level with stuff, but it's not only what the person possesses, but it's what the person can present to you.
yeah,
Like,
I was
let's say
talking more so like as far as like that time, spending that time goes together. Because the way Levi was talking about it now, it's like, oh well, I don't really text. It's like, we'll do the phone thing, and if it's long distance, it's probably not going to work. But now as we go into like late 20s, early 30s, where we're more established, we all got houses. The women that we looking at, you know, hopefully got houses and stuff now, where there's more constraints. Like, how do we, like, you know, really try to make that work if we're not shacking up?
I mean, I kind of touched on it earlier. You got to kind of do things in bite sizes and what you can withstand. Like, that's why I say, like, taking trips perhaps on the weekend or whatever, maybe a week. But I would say try to do things in bite sizes. But you're gonna want to try to have those moments when you're together. In my opinion, I think that's kind of that's when you really kind of get to know somebody really well, is when you actually can, you know what I'm saying, have a whole day, a whole 2 days, 3 days with this person. You're talking about breakfast, lunch, or whatever, and you're just doing different things. You're seeing what they you know, what they like to do, how they act, their different gestures at the house. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what they like to eat. Battery running low. So I think that's probably best, man, to just do things in those bite-sized increments until you're able to formulate an opinion on if you should marry this person or not. So
True. What you think, Mike? I know you was going with it. My bad. I just wanted to clarify it first. Go ahead.
No, is it for what you? I was gonna say something different, but I just to echo what everybody else said. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be observative with it. I mean, one of the biggest things, like, you know, like DJ says, is like, yo, take small trips. So when you take a small trip, they say if you argue on a vacation, then y'all don't need to be together. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's situations where, yo, you're in a good environment, and then something that can turn bad. Not only that, see how this person handles different situations. You know what I mean? Don't always be the forefront with it. You know, if I'm not saying that, you know, you got to pay all the time when you go out to eat, but if she want to come through with it and say, okay, oh, babe, I got it. Yo, like, definitely, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's not a situation where you always have to be the head horse. And, you know, these are little red flags that you got to worry about and things that you have to observe. I mean, I remember I was watching this thing by Mike Todd, and he had said that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike Todd. He had this thing. He had a wood and an axe. He said, the more you hit a wood, you saw it? Yeah, the more you hit a wood, it's gonna become dull. But iron's supposed to sharpen an iron. So you both supposed to be an axe. You can't have a wood and you can't have a wood and you have an axe. The axe is gonna become dull the more you hit it. You know what I'm saying? So you need somebody who's gonna be just as much a sharp axes just as you are, and that's things you gotta pay attention to. You know, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody perfect. You know what I mean? And they don't come through with their flaws, but you as a person have just as much flaws as they may have. But it's all about how much are they gonna accept it and how much are you gonna accept it. Mm-hmm. So
maturity. It's about maturity aspect.
Yeah, exactly. I think that all definitely do that. I think that all ties into one: sacrifice, maturity, acceptance. It's just how much are you willing to let? I don't say allow happen, but how much do you want to accept this person and what they have? Because, you know, these are things that can be fixed, or this thing can't be fixed. This person ain't the right one for me, so I gotta exit real quick. So I mean, just to say it like that, I just feel like, you know, you gotta really do your investigation, like everybody said. You know what I'm saying? When y'all go out, one of the biggest things I heard, somebody told me one time, they said, you don't fall in love with somebody by how they make you feel. You fall in love with a person on how you can fix an argument and how things are after.
I like that.
So at the end of the day, it's like, yo, this person making me feel nice with it. But when y'all have that first argument, you guys see how that reaction is. You know what I'm saying? Can we talk about it? Can we work it out? Can we fix it? You know what I'm saying? If this girl act like she like a completely different person from what you met, then that's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look out for that. So
test the fabric of the compromise.
Right. Facts. So that's how I feel. I mean,
I like that. All right. Hey, man. So as we start to go ahead and, you know, just wrap this up, man, like, we're going to go around real quick and get everybody consensus, man, on the way that we're going to take if we have, like, you know what I'm saying, young people that's coming to us, man, whether it's a young brother, young sister, and they looking for some advice on the route to go, we're gonna go around real quick, man, and see what our consensus is. Mr. Leviathan, start us out. Take us out, brother.
Yeah, for sure. I would just like to say, if anyone's, trying to look for somebody, I'm available. I'm just joking. No, but on the real, on the real, I was just gonna say, just have faith, trust God. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what He has to say. You know what I'm saying? And everything you do, you know what I'm saying? Just keep Him first and foremost before anybody else, and He'll lead you where you need to go.
All right, there we go, Mike Brown. Go ahead, brother. Take us out.
Man, look, man, I ain't saying it's wrong, but look, check the Carfax. Check the Carfax, man, before you get into anything, because you don't know what you get into these days, man. Y'all, look, I watch ID and Snap, so just be careful out there. Like everybody said, let God lead, man. Pray about it. If you're feeling somebody, pray about it. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna show you. He's gonna reveal things in time. Give things time. Don't rush in to shack up with a person, because, like I said, she looked nice on the outside but dirty in the house, inside at home. So just be careful.
All right, DJ, go ahead, man. Let's take us out, brother. What's your consensus?
Yeah, I like that, Mike. Check the Carfax. But yeah, man, I touched on it earlier. What is your non-negotiable, man? And what are you willing to stand? And just keep in mind that, you're not looking for perfect, because if you're looking for perfect, you're not going to find it, man. But what is your 3 to 5 non-negotiables? And are you able to stand the rain, man?
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Marriage is a beautiful thing, and it will work if you work it. It will work if you work it.
Absolutely, 100, man. Hey, so the consensus is, like, we are not advocating for you to shack up against what the Bible says from a biblical standpoint, but if you can withstand the temptation, it is the best way to go ahead and understand the partners and understand the people that you may be spending the rest of your life with. Just proceed with caution. This has been the Hold Your Point podcast. We are the Hold Your Point crew.